Lovely evening to you. It's 8 p.m. and you are watching the main news. My name is Zain Jamo. Good evening, Joyce.
Good evening to you, Zain, and a very good evening to our viewers. My name is Joyce Mabika. We're coming to you live from the Broadcasting Center at Pockets Hill Studios in Harare. Peaceway Dominica is on sign language. Later on, Sibukele Maposa will be joining us from our Montreux studios in Bulawayo.
And later on, Lawrence Trusida will take us through sport.
We start off with our leading stories tonight. Emergency road rehabilitation program gathers momentum in Mashonaland Central Province.
This comes as construction of a 36-kilometer stretch that links Zimbabwe and Mozambique through Mukumbura border post is now work in progress.
In business, captains of industry give input on new tax regimes proposed in the 2024 national budget.
And in sport, 6 top-flight European clubs in the country for a talent search, which began this Monday at Alexandra Sports Club.
We now give you the news in detail. Government is accelerating the emergency road rehabilitation program with the construction of a 36-kilometer stretch that links Zimbabwe and Mozambique through Mukumbura border post, now work in progress.
Government is mobilizing resources for the rehabilitation of 36 kilometers of Ndoda Hondo Road, which connects Zimbabwe and Mozambique through Mukumbura border post. This follows the successful rehabilitation of another section from Mount Darwin to Zambezi area, which has brought convenience to the motoring public.
Yanga yakanyangara asi nogadzwa wakaitwa tara chizosvika payakasvika pa zvakuratidza kuti kana mota dzakufambawo dzakawanda
kuti tingachana chano chemaiwa hapana imwe stretch yekubva pana Zambezi kusvika mulotito maiwa pakanaka zvikuru
iri kugadzirwa zvakanaka zvekuti dai kwagadzirwa kusvika kumukumbura uku zvakanaka ka vanhu vanofamba zvakanaka
haisi parodi shiro yedu totoda kuti isvike kubhodha tare.
Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Provincial Roads Engineer for Mashonaland Central Province, Engineer Joseph Makokoe, highlighted the importance and significance of the road in connecting Zimbabwe and Mozambique.
We now have 36 kilometers left for surfacing of the road so that it gets to the border, and on the Mozambican side they are now left with 25 kilometers. So under ERP we had earmarked to do 10 kilometers, which and we have a contractor on the ground. This is a very critical and important road in the province. It's very emotional, and it will increase trade if we are to surface the road up to the border post so that it becomes an all-weather road and a regional road.
Other remarkable road rehabilitation projects in Mashonaland Central Province include the ongoing Harare Kanyemba Road Rehabilitation Project, where 10 kilometers have been rehabilitated and now open to traffic, the rehabilitation of 17 kilometers of the Nyakasika-Nakaranda Road, as well as the rehabilitation of the main road, which connects Mount Darwin and Rushinga. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mount Darwin.
Meanwhile, the Mberengwa Central community has lauded the Second Republic for its accelerated rural electrification program, which has seen 1 business center and 4 schools being equipped with new electricity transformers and connected to the national electricity grid.
Efforts by the government to leave no one and no place behind in the development matrix are continuing across the country, with 4 Mberengwa Central schools and a business center being the latest to benefit from government's rural electrification program. The electrification program, which has brought joy, relief and hope to Mberengwa community, has witnessed the electrification of Vutika Business Center, Vutika Secondary School, Mpanda Shanga High School, Rushinge and Rengwe Primary Schools.
Magetsi aya achatibatsira zvikuru sei kuti titi attain vision 2030 ya president inofambirana netechnology, macomputers, vana vedu vanga vachisarira zvakanyanya kumashure.
Learning yangofamba online, vana vakwanisa kuti vastudy manheru, zvinova zvabetsera mvura ichakwanisa kupambiwavo.
Mberengwa Central Legislator Honorable Tinashe Shumba noted the electrification program will play a pivotal role in stimulating growth and development in the area.
Vabereki munovabatsirika pakuti maticha anga asingakwanisi kumaka mabhuku manheru, vana vasingakwanisi kuti va-access internet nenyaya yekushaya kwamagetsi, but izvo nenyaya yamagetsi avapo vana vakwanisa kuverengawo manheru.
Minister of Primary and Secondary Education Honorable Turerai Moyo said government is committed to assist rural schools in bridging gaps between urban and rural learning institutions.
Tine bazi rinoita zveICT rinopa makombiyuta muzvikoro. Saka ini kana ndadzokerawo kuHarare ndononyora tsamba kuti pachikoro chandakaenda pane magetsi asi vana veku havana makombiyuta. Tokumbira makombiyuta kana auya muchaona ndodzoka nawo zvakare.
The target is to work on ensuring the massive rollout and implementation of the electrification program to benefit more schools. Karejushe, ZBC News, Mberengwa.
Government has intensified the implementation of measures to curb livestock deaths in the wake of the El Niño-induced dry summer season. Peter Chivima reports.
With normal to below normal rains predicted for the 2023 to 2024 agricultural season, there are reports that more than 5,000 cattle have died due to the El Nino-induced drought this year, with Matabeleland South Province topping the list of cattle deaths. In an interview with the ZBC News this Monday, Chief Livestock Officer in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Mr. Wisdom Gundrenze, said the drought has taken a huge toll on the national herd, hence the move to ensure availability of water in various communities.
The first thing that the government is looking into is the water situation. There has been generally a mobilization through government in what is being referred to as the whole of government approach, where various government ministries and departments are being mobilized as initiated by the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that water is made available to our livestock. This is done through sinking of boreholes, which is actually in line with the ministry's policy of rural development 8.0, where it is visioned that we should have a borehole in every village.
Rains have since started falling in some hardly hit areas, but the government warns the challenge is not yet over.
The situations can be different from place to place. Where there is relief grazing, farmers should actually go for relief grazing. Also, where they can have supplementary feed, they should provide supplementary feed in the form of hay or maintenance feed.
Government is also rolling out several initiatives under the Livestock Recovery and Growth Plan, and recently it rolled out the Bovac vaccine to areas affected by January disease. Currently, the national herd stands at 5.5 million, and plans are already on cards to increase the national herd to 11 million by 2030. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Heavy rains, which were accompanied by strong winds, have left a trail of destruction at Wawa prison complex in Gweru, leading to overcrowding of prisoners at the institution.
The heavy rainfall experienced in Gweru over the weekend have left authorities at Wawa prison complex counting losses after several cells and houses had their roofs blown away. So dire is the situation that prison authorities were forced to crowd the prisoners as the blown away cells are no longer habitable.
Between 1:30 and 2, heavy winds, they came and blew off the roofs of 9 cells and some staff accommodation in the process. It affected at least 100 inmates because their cells became inhabitable because of the rains. And in the process, we had to move the inmates from the affected cells to the other cells that were habitable. So basically it compromised the sleeping arrangement of the war inmates at the prison. So basically we have got a holding capacity of 1,264 inmates, but currently we have got 1,475 inmates, which on its own entails overcrowding. And due to this unfortunate incident, it means there's so much overcrowding at the prison because some of our cells are now inhabitable.
Prison authorities say assistance from various stakeholders is welcome to improve the situation.
We need the community to come and assist us in the reconstruction of the cells, but at the same time, construction of the officers' accommodation, because we've got some officers who were affected by the same wind. So we almost have 20 families that were affected. In terms of value and everything, we are still working on it so that we verify how much is expected to be used to bring back the cells to their normal condition.
Alternative accommodation for affected officers and families has since been provided as prison authorities are working round the clock for possible solutions to the problem at hand. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
The Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jenfan Muswere, says the media industry plays a critical role in disseminating information on projects and interventions made in driving the development agenda of the government.
The radio station is an economy which should be utilized as well to inform Zimbabweans, to inform our parents, to educate our parents about health issues, about climate change issues, about the magnitude of the effects of the sanctions that have been imposed on our country by our former colonial masters, but also the initiatives that the government of Zimbabwe is taking under the leadership of President Edie Mnangagwa in order to support our sovereignty, in order to support self-determination, in order to fulfill the objectives of the liberation struggle, and in order to support our president's mantra that nyika inovakwa nevene vayo, in order to support our right to determine our future, because we are masters of our destiny.
Government is not leaving any stone unturned in its drive to promote domestic tourism, particularly during the forthcoming festive season.
The Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, together with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, took its Zimbo campaign to the border town of Beitbridge. Residents who came for the launch showed a lot of excitement, saying they have learned a lot about domestic tourism.
Ndotakala zulu anenga manda ngaile dwala namusi la tourism takala nga manda ele dwala namusi ndichitu chiulana nga manda vorifa.
Beitbridge Town Clerk Mr. Laud Ramachapula applauded the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry and recognizing Beitbridge as one of the preferred tourist destinations.
Beitbridge ndimwe yazidorobo inowana vaeni vanji ngachikati chine chavo kisimusi vatu vanobva voseri vachida ngeno bridge vakwava vanji ngamanda vamwe vachifira vachijena vukati nge.
Speaking during the launch, the Deputy Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Tongai Mnangagwa, said the primary objective of this campaign is to promote domestic tourism and instill a culture of going for holidays among Zimbabweans.
As a Ministry of Tourism, together with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, we're here to announce an exciting new venture, the festive season domestic campaign, Zimbo. It aims to shape the future of tourism in our beautiful country and in a small way contribute to the national vision.
The Zimbo campaign is expected to feed into the national target to attain a $5 billion United States tourism economy by 2025.
As the country targets a $5 billion United States tourism economy by 2025 under the National Tourism Recovery and Growth Plan, domestic tourism is cited among the major contributors to the set target. This weekend saw the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rodzi, launching the domestic tourism campaign for the festive season in Masvingo Province, where she encouraged people to prioritize visiting tourism destinations within the country.
Iwe semuZimbabwean wadi kuenda kunzvimbo yekwako uboona pane vamwe vari kunobuda kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana kunyika dzakasiyana siyana vachienda for holiday. Isu tiri kuti seMinistry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry mwaka uno wefestive season kana kuti Christmas yegore rino nzira yako rwendo rwako ngarunange kumba kunova kuZimbabwe.
Speaking at the same occasion, Masvingo Permanent Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Dr. Admo Pazakavambwa, said tourism is among key pillars in ensuring national development, hence must be supported.
The National Development Strategy 1, 2021 to 2025, identifies tourism as one of the anchors underpinning economic revival and coming closer home as Masvingo province, we have also identified tourism development as a standalone pillar, which shows its significance as a veritable vehicle of economic growth.
Masvingo province boasts of a number of tourism destinations, among them Great Zimbabwe Monuments, Lake Mutirikwi, Gonare National Park, and Tugwi Mukosi Dam.
Zimbabweans who graced the domestic tourism promotional campaign in Bindura have acknowledged the need to be part of the tourism family for them to know various beautiful places the country is endowed with. They, however, called for a more affordable pricing strategy from tourism service providers.
Tinode kuti munhu ambofamba ambosvika panzvimbo ombonyatsoona kuti zvine zviitika panzvimbo ipapo kana kuya kuno kwagutiku kwababa gutiku gomo kunonamatwa uko zvinosimudzirawo mweya wako.
Inini pandiri pano ndinorarama nekutamba mitambo yemadhirama nekutamba ngoma dzechinyakare.
Yezvinozvo vanhu vazhinji havazoti munotsoka yachipadzika vaneiziva here havasati vamboiona. Tsoka yachipadze ukaisa gumbo remwana mudiki rinokwana, usaizi 10 rinokwana, usaizi 9 rinokwana. Saka vanhu ivoyo kuti takagara panapa kungowata kuti zviri kuoneka zvinhu izvozvo hapana chavanoziva.
The campaign was led by the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, which seeks to tap into the local market for the country's various tourism services.
Tiripo kuti tishande pamwe chete, hazvisi zvekukurudzirana zveChristmas chete ai. Asi tichipedza Christmas ngatitodzoka itogara pasi toti mumona munational and central munei tochibatsirana papi.
For government, Zimbabwe stands to benefit from inward-looking policies in various sectors of the economy, including tourism.
The National Tourism Recovery and Growth Strategy is an initiative of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. For the campaign to achieve tangible results, we have set many strategic objectives. These objectives aim to foster a travel culture in our citizens and to promote various clusters of tourism such as excursions, rural, sports, religious tourism. After this event, the people of Mashonaland Central Province will be aware that tourism is not only for the perceived elites or the rich and affluent, but every citizen can be a tourist within the province and beyond.
A local drama dance group, Swerengoma, kept participants entertained through captivating dance performances.
So let us visit various domestic centers, domestic tourist attractions around our beautiful Zimbabwe. Remember, these and more stories are available on our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you could visit us on our social media platforms, that is at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin in business. Captains of industry give input on new tax regimes proposed in the 2024 national budget.
And in sport, 6 top-flight European clubs in the country for a talent search, which began this Monday at Alexandra Sports Club.
And do remember to stay with us for these and more stories in detail after this break.
Leonardo, will you please tell us the story of how you met Papa?
Since it's Christmas, I will give it to you as a Christmas.
Falling in the pool was the time that I realized I fell in love.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
This holiday season, DSTV's got so much great entertainment. You, your family, and your guests will be spoiled for choice.
Always a tremendous atmosphere here. The treble winners are back.
Shoots and scores. This is outstanding.
Celebrate Zimbabwean cuisine.
This is good to know.
It doesn't matter who you're hosting.
family, and we can conquer anything.
We've got unbeatable shows for the whole neighborhood to choose from.
This day just got better.
We're more than glad for any assault.
We're actually great. We're really great. I can have my happily ever after.
Just say no all the time.
We're all about giving you entertainment of your choice and options that suit your family. So stay connected to DSTV for the happiest holidays yet. DSTV, it's your moment.
In the warm embrace of my nurturing mother, I was introduced to her cherished choice of beverage. Through every joy and challenge, it became our go-to. Now that I can make my own choices, I choose to pass on that love to the next generation. I love you, Mom.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
The Permanent Secretary, Mr. Ndabaningi Nick Mangwana, the Chief Director, Jonathan Gandari, directors and the staff in the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services heartily congratulate Honorable Minister Dr. Jenfan Muswere for obtaining a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Development Studies. By the same token, we would like to thank the Chancellor of all universities, His Excellency President Comrade Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, for remodeling our education to produce intellectuals whose role is aligned to the core agenda of our national interests and the sustainable prolongation of the development of our people. This approach is very critical in agitating the entrenched vestiges of colonial education, which only reduced our people to hewers of wood and drawers of water. The education system under President Mnangagwa has embodied a truly humanizing function to our nation in the quest to build a prosperous nation by 2030. This second Doctor of Philosophy degree to be attained by our Honorable Minister is not only a reflective step to self-actualization, but is also evidence of his ethical commitment and discipline to study with a view to meaningfully contribute to pressing nuggets of public policy formulation. This accolade is lucidly expressive of the current Education 5.0 model's pragmatic output in producing knowledge that is relevant to strengthening Zimbabwean governance and policy architecture using heritage-based mechanisms. Makorokoto Amhlope, congratulations.
Welcome back. The young spellers who represented the country well at the Africa Spelling Bee competitions 2023 in Uganda returned home this Sunday. Let's get more details.
Coming back home to a hero's welcome after their exploits in Uganda, the talented youngsters who raised the country's flag high after scooping awards in the junior and senior categories returned to Zimbabwe this Sunday. The spellers registered a successful outing at the continental competition with Claudia June Madombiro and Tashinga Chereni bagging 2 bronze medals for Zimbabwe.
I'm glad that I was able to help in putting Zimbabwe on the map. I'm happy that I was able to get this position.
It feels really great, really awesome because I'm not only representing myself, but the country as a whole.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe Spelling Bee believes that the successful outing in Uganda is a sign of greater prospects lying ahead.
Yes, we are feeling very excited and we are very happy that our children managed to bring 2 bronze, both for the senior and junior rounds.
6 players who were heavily supported by Zimbabwe Spelling Bee and some parents made the trip to Uganda to represent the nation at the continental showpiece. The young spellers repaid the support as they won 2 bronze medals in the junior and senior categories. Reinald Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
Oh, that's congratulations to the young ones there. We now cross over to the city of Kings and Queens, where Sibukele Maposa will continue with the news. It's over to you, and it's good evening.
Thank you very much, Zain and Joyce. Good evening, Zimbabwe. Let's carry on with the news.
The Zimbabwe Public Police has broadened its response strategy to the drug and substance abuse scourge by incorporating the corporate chaplaincy services to provide counseling to survivors. Lisa Masugu gives us more.
The scourge of drug and substance abuse continues to affect various communities countrywide, with the Zimbabwe Republic Police ZRP opting to broaden its response strategy. The ZRP has since enlisted the services of chaplain officers, including those from various organizations, as their skilled personnel in providing emotional, moral, and mental support to drug and substance abusers.
Definitely, we believe that this partnership with the Zimbabwe Republic Police Chaplaincy Department will play a key role in eradicating or in reducing the challenges that are faced within the nation. Why? Because we have the chaplains who on a daily basis interact with individuals within the communities. So as we partner together, those of the clergy from the outside, that is corporate chaplains, and the Zimbabwe Republic Police chaplains, we are creating a formidable force that will fight against this scourge.
Besides the partnership with chaplain officers, the Zimbabwe Republic Police is also running several programs to conscientize youths on the dangers of drug and substance abuse.
We are having a number of programs that we are carrying out through our CID and our duty uniform branches. They are also out there to try and conscientize especially from the young who are mostly affected.
An interministerial task force is in place to tackle the drug and substance abuse scourge, with the Zimbabwe Republic Police leading the fight under the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage. Lisa Masugu, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
As Zimbabwe and Botswana continue to strengthen ties, representatives from the two countries are engaging on issues related to occupational safety, employment services, as well as health and safety issues.
In 2020, Zimbabwe and Botswana signed a Memorandum of Understanding on Social Security Cooperation. The MOU aims to facilitate the exchange of information and expertise on social security systems and to explore possibilities for reciprocal agreements on social security coverage. Representatives from the two countries are convening in Bulawayo for 5 days to exchange notes on employment services, social security, and occupational health and safety as the two nations seek to improve their operations.
Tend to want to know more in Zimbabwe, the way their schemes are structured, the structure of NASA, and because as Botswana, we are currently just having one scheme for employed officers, which is the pension benefit. And currently as Botswana, we are still at an infant stage in trying to come up with a new department called Employment Services. But as you know, Zimbabwe already have a structure, and we want to learn more from that. We want to know the initiatives that Zimbabwe is using, because right now we are still very far on our side.
This engagement is very important because one of the things that as a social security organization we should always do is to always want to learn new things and improve the way we look after our beneficiaries. We can only do that by engaging with other jurisdictions to learn how they are doing their things. We believe Botswana is one of those countries that have got quite a very impressive social security structure. So we believe there is going to be a lot for us to learn. The way they do their social security is very impressive, and we are hoping that we will be able to tap on that and see how we can improve our own way of doing business.
The collaboration is expected to benefit citizens of both countries by ensuring that they have access to essential social security benefits such as pensions and disability benefits, and drive cross-border pension portability. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Been made for players in the private and public health sectors to complement government efforts in providing quality, affordable healthcare services to the public.
The call was made during a free medical health camp and official opening of a clinic by a local financial services group in Bula this Saturday. The 2-day free medical health camp was aimed at offering one-stop health services to residents in Bulawayo, with residents welcoming the initiative.
We are starting in Harare to ensure that we bring facelifts
to your hospitals like Harare Hospital, where obviously there are some wards that we feel that if they are given an uplift, our members, our society can also access health services at affordable prices. The key here is affordability and wide access. We are also rolling out a program where we'll be going into the underserved markets in remote areas across the country. We'll be working with the government and local councils to provide basic health services.
First Mutual Health General Manager Mr. Wellington Majga said they are working with government to improve the quality and affordability of healthcare services offered at public hospitals, with Harare Hospital being the first public hospital to benefit from the partnership.
Kuyabongeka ukuthi abanye umuntu uyabenga-afford ukuyabona u-private doctor but akwanise ukuthi uthole uncedo ukuthi akwanise ukuthi a-check umzimba ukuthi umi njani.
Dzakufara zvinonakidza nekuti unochiziva kuti wakamira sei nekuti unochiona madoctors anenge akawanda panzvimbo imwe chete.
Silezifiso kunengi okusihlupa emzimbeni esingakwaziyo ukuthi singakuncediswa njani, kodwa if sizuza iservice njengalezi thina siyakuthakazelela.
Public-private partnerships in the health sector continue to demonstrate the potential for positive change when parties work together with a shared vision for a healthier society. Helanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And that'll be all. I am Sibgele Maposa. Joyce and Zain will now take us to the rest of the bulletin. Good evening.
Many thanks to the Montrose team. We bring it back to Harare, where we continue with the news. The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is pinning hopes on legislative amendments that foster better compliance in payment of radio and television licensing fees.
The public broadcaster was allocated 2 billion Zimbabwe dollars out of a total submissions of $220 billion, which is only 1% of its requirements. This came out this Monday during a review of the 2024 national budget, which was recently presented by Treasury.
We are proposing that the legislature be changed in order for ZBC to collect its revenue through Zinara by making it mandatory that before anyone pays for government licenses, then radio license should also be included.
Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Honorable Carsten Mateu, made it clear that his committee will lobby Treasury for increased support as part of the budget-making process.
We need to digitize. I think that was the main thing that I actually noted, and that the project has been given about $5.5 million US, whereas we need close to 10 million, because this country has only 18 transmitters out of a possible 40 or 45 that are needed to ensure that we digitalize so that the content that you see on ZBC improves.
Acting Permanent Secretary for Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Mr. Jonathan Gandari, amplified the call to support the national broadcasting ecosystem, citing shortfall on allocations to Transmedia and the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe.
We have flagged to the committee the importance of making sure that the parastatals, the media parastatals, are well funded, because their mandate is critical in making sure that we attain Vision 2030. Their mandate is critical in building trust for investors to come here, and their mandate is critical in making sure that every place and every person gets information which helps them to access resources and policies that the government is putting on the table.
Meanwhile, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Mrs. Rofina Chikava, has revealed that their allocation will go towards refurbishment of missions around the world to spruce their image.
2024, we are also completing, we want to build chanceries, residences. We alluded to the fact that we want to complete the Abuja residence and chancery, which we started last year. And the budget we are given can only finish that project. We also have project in Lusaka, where we are building residence for the ambassador. We are moving, you know, Dodoma, Tanzania, they are moving from Dar to Dodoma. We're given land there and we want to build.
Several other committees also held budget review meetings with key stakeholders and captains of industry as a post-mortem of fiscal allocations to various portfolios. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The Food and Agriculture Declaration, which more than 130 world leaders endorsed at COP28, has been cited as key to breaking the deadlock between developed and developing countries on ways to strengthen food and agriculture systems in the wake of climate change.
Against a backdrop of agricultural and food systems that are losing the battle to climate change, there is now hope for millions of smallholder farmers to put food on the table at home and across the world. The Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Mangaliso Ndlovu, who is attending the COP28 in Dubai, spoke about the undeniable and intricate nexus between sustainable agriculture and climate-resilient food systems and climate change.
Is the critical issue of adaptation, and where we have said we need to agree on the global goal on adaptation, GGA, and we realize that there is not much traction when it comes to adaptation. Our friends from the developed nations have been focusing more on mitigation. When you look at the African perspective, we are a continent that contributes collectively around about 3% of the total emissions. So when we then talk of mitigation, of course it's important to also check our emissions as we develop, but we don't think that this is a priority for Africa. What is a priority for Africa, being the most underdeveloped of all the regions that are attending the Conference of Parties and bearing perhaps the highest burden of climate change, is the issue of adaptation, where we are talking of also building resilience.
Bringing food and agriculture into the climate agenda has been noted as significant, with 70% of the food being produced by smallholder farmers in Africa, who are also the most climate-impacted constituencies.
We are also agreed that whatever we will come up with as an outcome should not in any way slow down or hinder the development aspirations of the developing countries. So whatever we'll be speaking to, our key focus is that let's mobilize financing, let the developed countries meet the obligations which they made of 100 billion annually. And we have realized again that the developed countries will report that they were able to disperse the money that they would have pledged, 100 billion, which there is no proof. You cannot trace where the monies went. So under the financing segment, we are also calling for a more transparent system.
According to negotiators, the declaration is a lifeline, for it presents an opportunity to transform food and agriculture systems in a just and equitable way without leaving anyone behind. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Dubai.
ZANU-PF party in Bulawayo has expressed its heartfelt gratitude to the city's electorate for their unwavering support and trust in the recent by-elections.
The party emerged victorious in key constituencies in the just-ended by-elections, solidifying its presence in Matabeleland region. Addressing the jubilant crowd at the party's offices, Davis saw in Bulaya this Monday, ZANU-PF Politburo member Senator Molimpofu thanked the people for trusting ZANU-PF, a people-centered party.
Bulawayo ngithanda ukulibonga ngendlela zonke engalibonga ngazo. Ayikho indaba enzima ukuya kuleyani indawo unguwe wedwa ungazoziqhoba omunye umuntu umbuzo ukuke. Today I've got my colleagues with me. We'll work as a team. Parliament ngale ukhuluma izinto ze-region madoda. Uzikhuluma lobani ngale nalingekho. Ngale kuyakhulunywa kuvotwa nazibuye sigcwalise sikhokha sentambama ukuthi kubona njani, and then we agree. For the sake of Bulawayo, let's work as a team. Asisebenzeni ndawonye, sihloniphane ngendlela efaneleyo. Sithanda ukuthi sibonge iBulawayo province for the job well done. Siyalibonga Bulawayo. Lathi sizahamba sidabanye siphelekezelana. Lonke lila war veterans, job well done. Well done. Ama candidate la awinileyo nxa kule problem ekhona kwenye i-constituency liyacela u-House of Assembly limtshele ukuthi le problem lale so that he can present you in Parliament.
The ruling party won 3 seats in the just-ended by-elections in Keta, Bulaya South and Kouta Park constituencies. The success in Bulawayo is seen by ZANU-PF as a springboard for future electoral victories. The party is looking to build on this momentum and expand its reach across the province with a renewed focus on delivering development and improving the lives of Zimbabweans. Yolanda Moyo, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Primary and Secondary Education, together with child rights organizations, have called on government to invest more in early childhood development amid revelations that the sector is being underfunded. Fungai Jachi with that report.
Following the proposed 2024 national budget, stakeholders in the education sector who participated in a post-budget analysis meeting held in Harare this Monday have called for more funding towards early childhood development, noting the need to increase the allocated budget from 2 to 5% of the total allocation towards primary and secondary education.
We advocate for more funding for the early childhood development sector in terms of increased yearly budget allocation from at least 3% to 5%.
Our educational budget was on 18.5%, of which you are saying, can we also push so that our government can try by all means to push it towards the 20% Dakar framework?
There is still a gap in terms of infrastructure for ECD, particularly the young children. They are unable to walk a distance of 1 kilometer. So it's important that that infrastructure is as close as possible within the community.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Ophias Murambiwa, said they will push for more funding towards the education sector, especially for ECD.
We are fully behind the funding of ECD. We are fully there to make sure that we do oversight and see that the education sector has been allocated the funds which would actually trigger for the better outcomes.
According to research by the Zimbabwe Network of Early Childhood Development Actors, only 45% of children have access to ECD facilities despite the Education Amendment Act stipulation. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Leader of Transform Zimbabwe, Jacob Ngarivume, has successfully appealed against his conviction and 3-year prison term, with the High Court setting him free for lack of evidence against him.
After spending 8 months behind bars following his conviction by a Harare magistrate of inciting public violence earlier this year, Transform Zimbabwe leader Ngarivume has been set free by the High Court. In the ex-tempo judgment delivered this Monday, the High Court judges handling the case unanimously agreed that the state failed to prove that the Twitter handle used to convey the message was Ngarivume's handle. His lawyer, Professor Lavmo Maduku, confirmed the development.
The High Court has set aside the conviction of Jacob Ngarivume. So as we speak, he's now a very free man. They will just be going through the normal procedures of releasing him. But they agreed with us in every respect that the Magistrates Court did not have a basis at all.
The full judgment is yet to be availed. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Registration of patents and companies, as well as intellectual property protection standards, are topping the agenda at the ongoing National Workshop on Intellectual Property for Innovative and Competitive Small and Medium Enterprises in Harare.
The Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs has partnered with regional and international organizations in organizing a national workshop on intellectual property policy development for innovative and competitive small and medium enterprises. SMEs who attended the workshop commended the initiative, citing that it will equip them with the knowledge needed to register and fully operationalize their businesses.
Actually, from this training again, we are going to gain much more, and we are going to teach more of these artists to come formal and register their own companies so that they operate within the laws.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union's Agenda 2063 are achievable considering the support by regional and international organizations such as the African Regional Intellectual Property (ARIPO) and the World Intellectual Property Organization (WIPO).
We have deployed this program so far in Ghana, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Cameroon, in Senegal, and in Botswana recently. And the aim there is to ensure that we target specific stakeholders and handhold them towards effectively using the intellectual property system.
The Department of Deeds, Companies and Intellectual Property in Zimbabwe has guaranteed local SMEs maximum support when it comes to registration and market facilitation.
What we are doing is deliberate. We are trying to motivate them to not only register their businesses, but also register their intellectual property. And also make sure that the products that they are trading, that they are selling, are properly packaged and are properly branded.
Topics covered during the workshop include IP protection standards, connectivity, economic transformation, copyright issues, innovation, and registration of patents.
The main news takes a break. We'll be back with business news shortly.
Mama, today I'm about to embark on the next chapter of my life. You've been by my side every step of the way. Through the late nights and endless studying, you always believed in my dreams. And as I start my new journey and my new career, I want to thank you for helping me make the right choice. To the women who never gave up on me, thank you, Mom. Merry Christmas.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe.
The Farm Shop Shamaria Hurudza promotion is back. Yebo yes, and this time we are rewarding our customers in a big way. The grand prize is a 25 horsepower tractor plus implements. Come and get NTS Macy's 10 kg hybrid or 20 of OPV. Come invest in your farming needs, 2 bags of AN and 2 bags of Compound G. Brought to you by Farm Shop Shamari Yehuruza. Wildcat, untamed energy.
Welcome back from the break. We jump straight into our business news. With the new tax regimes proposed in the 2024 national budget topped discussions when captains of industry met during a budget review in Mount Hampton this Monday.
The stakeholders and captains of industry offered different approaches on how the Treasury can optimize revenue collections to finance the fiscus without hurting business through heavy taxes.
VAT on basic commodities, it is quite an issue because once we place or we put VAT on basic commodities, what it will do is to increase the cost of those products, and they will actually go beyond the reach of the majority, whose incomes largely have not been quite there in terms of the local aggregate demand.
We need a reconsideration on licensing traders, stopping them from buying from us on account of tax compliance. We welcome the government's decision that the traders must comply, but there has to be a reasonable time, and the tax mechanisms must be friendly and must speak to the size of these traders.
We are proposing as business a sort of a presumptive tax, and it's a levy. We have done calculations. It will be loading 2.96% of the price on anybody who walks into a manufacturer and he doesn't have papers that shows that he comply. For those that comply, then it's fine, they can buy. Those who don't comply, they pay an extra 2.96% of the price that they would have paid.
What we are asking as a solution is for the private sector and government to work together. Government, the private sector, if the private sector can be allowed to continue to operate as is with the government coming in with the fund that they create from the 20% levy.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Budget and Finance, Honorable Clemens Chidua, was pleased with submissions made during the meeting and pledged to ensure that Treasury considers suggestions made.
The presentation that was done by the Honorable Minister, those were proposals. The proposals that are supposed to be scrutinized by stakeholders, and what we've been doing today is to get the views that are coming from the stakeholders, and with a cross-section of all the stakeholders.
As the budget review consultative process continues, legislators are expected to hold a post-budget review seminar this Tuesday. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
From business, we head straight to the arts. 22-year-old Courtney Jongwe is representing the country at the Miss Earth pageant currently underway in Vietnam.
More than 80 beauty queens from around the world are contesting at the Miss Earth pageant currently underway in Vietnam. 22-year-old Zimbabwean beauty Courtney Jongwe is representing Zimbabwe. The finals of the pageant are set for the 22nd of this month, where reigning Miss Earth Queen Mina Soo Choi of South Korea will hand over the crown to the winner. An online voting process for the People's Choice is currently underway, and the winner will automatically qualify for the semi-finals. Zimbabweans are encouraged to vote to boost Jongwe's chances of getting to the semi-finals. The modeling show is among the top 4 biggest pageants in the world, alongside the Miss World, Miss Universe and Miss International. Thandi Muringa, who represented the country at the Miss Earth pageant in 2011, became the first Zimbabwean to break into the top 8. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, we just say go Courtney, go continue making the beautiful nation of Zimbabwe proud. The main news will take a break for sport, and then when we return, we'll give you more updates, what is happening in the world of sport.
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I don't care if they know the truth about how much I care for you. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care.
Show some love to your fabrics with Boom Bubble Plus washing powder with powerful dirt-fighting enzymes and special color protection. Whiter whites and brighter colors. Boom, and the dirt is gone.
This is the right choice, Zimbabwe. Ah.
Welcome back. Scouts from 6 top-flight European clubs are in the country for a talent hunt which began this Monday at Alexandra Sports Club.
A massive talent hunt is ongoing after scouts from countries like England, Israel and Belgium touched down at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport this Sunday. Ahead of the scouting scheduled for Alexander Sports Club on Monday, the European scouts who arrived in the country this Sunday are optimistic of finding abundant talent in Zimbabwe.
I wouldn't have travelled all this way if I didn't think it would be beneficial for the players and our club. So yeah, I'm hoping that there is some players here that we can use, and potentially they can be Maccabi players in the future.
It's an honor for us, to be here in Zimbabwe, to come and watch, all the players, coming, from the combine, and I'm pretty sure, we're going to see a lot of good players, a lot of talent. So that's why we're here.
They told me good things about Zimbabwe. That's what I want to see. To good player, young player. That's why we are searching.
This is the first time that I'm aware of clubs from Europe, 6 different European countries coming to look for talent in Zimbabwe, in Alex Park. So it gives the opportunity for the local players to showcase their talent in front of these football clubs, and if they perform, they can be offered a contract directly from this event.
And the scouting clinic runs until this Tuesday, 13 December. Reinald Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
The Zimbabwe Football Association ZIFA Normalization Committee has been castigated for boycotting the official opening of the Hart Stadium, which was commissioned by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Waterfalls on Sunday.
The official opening of the Hart Stadium brought together all stakeholders in the football industry, barring one, the Zimbabwe Football Association, which decided not to show up. President Emmerson Mnangagwa normally rests on Sunday, but he confirmed during his speech that because of the nature of the project, he had to change his routine and be part of history as the 5,000-seater stadium was commissioned. Other key stakeholders, the Ministry of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Footballers Union of Zimbabwe, Ministers of Defense as well as Tourism, coaches, referees, players, even the fans all gathered to witness the official opening. However, ZIFA, who are the custodians of football in Zimbabwe, caught everyone by surprise with a no-show, despite numerous invitations, and the chairperson of the Sports and Recreation Commission, Gerald Mlojwa, confirmed that he was not too impressed.
I note, amongst all the salutations, that the ZIFA Normalization Committee, notwithstanding specific invitation by yourselves and the SRC, is not here. That, Your Excellency, and everyone here present, is an anomaly that will attend. Efforts of this nature should be supported by all. We must unite and move in one direction.
Analysts have also castigated the Normalization Committee for their latest gesture.
We seemingly have a polemic situation, a situation characterized by polarization, where we are supposed to come together and forge a way forward.
Contacted for comment, ZIFA Normalization Committee Chairperson Lincoln Mtasa said he is out of the country and will respond when he gets back. The owners of the stadium confirmed that they sent 4 different invitations to ZIFA.
I wrote them 2 letters, to be specific, if not 3. First of all, I wrote to them when I started to construct on 15 August. That's when the project started. I said, I'm starting to construct, come and guide me, what you would want to see in football. They never turned up. I asked them again to come, they never turned up. And then I asked them to attend even the event, they never turned up. So if such is there and the private players are trying to assist in football and people are not even coming forth to that, then I tell you football is going nowhere. It's not about an individual brilliance or an individual trophy. It's a collective effort that makes football to reach the highest level.
Zimbabwe has of late been hit by a stadium crisis, and this past season, 8 Premier Soccer League clubs from Harare and surrounding areas were forced to host matches in Gweru and Bulawayo as there were no approved facilities in the capital. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Harare.
Still in sport, the 2023 ZIFA Eastern Region Division 1 League Awards were held in Mutare on Saturday, with Harrison Masina of Hunters FC being voted the best player of the season.
The Eastern Region Soccer League Awards ceremony held in Mutare this Saturday saw outstanding players, coaches and teams being honored, with Bigita Minerals, who gained promotion to the Premier Soccer League, being named the best team. Harrison Masina of Hunters FC, who was the season's top goal scorer with 18 goals, scooped the Soccer Star of the Year accolade. Masina, who has already signed for Simba Bora, aims to take his fine form into the Premier Soccer League.
zvandaingoita kudivision 1 ndozvandigonongoaplya bhora rinambosiyana bhora rakafanana.
Promoted Bikita Minerals are not going on a shopping spree.
mamirira zvakaita izvezvi ndiri kuenda netimu yangu kuPSL and ndichada kusenzesa vakomana nekuti vakomana vakashanda ndo vachabata futi basa muPremier.
Zifa Eastern Region Vice Chairperson Wisdom Simba is happy with the commitment by teams and players to make the league competitive.
Ndinoda kutenda zvikuru kune vanhu vamaclubs edu Eastern Region anova iwo akatamba gore rino rese kunyange zvinhu zvakaoma sei vakakwanisa kutamba vakapedza magemu ose.
Deputy Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Emily Jesaya, who was the guest of honor, spoke on the need to take sport as a business.
The convening of this award ceremony is a clear indication of the desire by ZIFA to implement the vision of an active, empowered and excelling sporting nation as embedded in the National Development Strategy 1 thematic area on youth, sport and culture promotion and development that put much emphasis on increased levels of participation in sport and recreation activities.
Meanwhile, Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, has revealed that the construction of stadia in the province is also high on the provincial development plan. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutari.
And that report concluding sport, the weather report and forecast is up next.
Thank you for joining us. It is time for your evening weather report and forecast. My name is Benjamin Kwaramba. Well, we had some thunderstorms and rain in most parts of the country yesterday, and heavier falls were experienced over the southern and eastern parts of the country. Gweru, Thornhill, with 76 millimeters, Buffalo Range had 32, Mutare Fire Station with 31 millimeters, Chisengu had 26, Swishavane with 23, Bulawayo Airport with 21 millimeters as at 8 o'clock this morning. Now turning to the satellite images received this afternoon shows that westerly cloud band as it affected the western parts of the country, which gave you that precipitation in most parts of the country, while areas to the northeast enjoyed some sunny breaks from time to time. Now tomorrow we expect all Matabeleland provinces, including Bulawayo Metropolitan, the Midlands, some parts of the Mashonaland West, to be partly cloudy at first. It should be cloudy later with some scattered light afternoon thunder showers, while areas to the east, that's Mashonaland East, Manicaland, as well as parts of Masvingo, should expect some heavier falls in places. Now for the temperatures in detail, the capital city, Harare, expect a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Kobulawayo 22 and 29, Gweru 16 and 29, Mutare 19 and 29 degrees Celsius, Kwekwe 17 and 32, Kadoma 19 and 33. Masvingo expect a minimum of 19 and a maximum of 31. Chinoi 20 and 30, Lupane 25 and 34, 21 and 31 is expected at Bindura Marondera with 12 and 29, Gwanda 23 and 32 degrees Celsius. Victoria Falls starting off 24, 35 maximum, Kariba 24 and 36, Great Zimbabwe 19 and 32, Nyanga 12 and 24, Matopos 23 and 33, 19 and 27 is expected at Chimanimani. In the outlook period, that is on Wednesday, we expect Matabeleland North, Matabeleland South, Bulawayo, the Midlands, Mashonaland West to be sunny. At first it should be cloudy later, but scattered afternoon thunder showers are expected in areas. While Mashonaland East, Manicaland expect some heavier falls in those places. In fact, amounts in excess of 50 millimeters can be expected in places. Well, that does it in tonight's edition of the Weather Report and Forecast. Let's make a date again tomorrow at the same time. Good evening, Zimbabwe.
Thank you, Benjamin. The weather report in focus. Concluding this news bulletin from all of us here, it's good night.
Good night.
Today on Inside Business, we are focusing on the real estate industry, wanting to uncover various developments that are unfolding in this particular strategic sector of the domestic economy, a sector that is experiencing exponential growth reflected by quite a number of activities that are unfolding in this particular sector of the economy.
Hello viewers, as you're still tuned in to Inside Business, where today we're focusing on the real estate industry, wanting to get a comprehensive understanding in terms of various developments that are emerging in this particular strategic sector of the domestic market, wanting to get understanding in terms of various developments that are emerging in this particular sector of the economy, which is experiencing quite exponential growth as reflected by the number of construction activity that is taking place in this particular industry. Today we're joined on Inside Business with one of the key player in this particular industry, that is Mr. Ken Sharp. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Inside Business.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so just starting off our discussion, Mr. Sharp, what's your take in terms of the real estate industry? We're seeing quite a number of developments are emerging or panning out in this particular sector of the market. What's your take in terms of the general state of the real estate industry?
I think the real estate industry in Zimbabwe at the moment is going through a boom. Over the last few years, if we go back maybe 5-6 years, in the Second Republic, we've taken the view that we wanted, it was a look and see. Like many other foreign investors in Zimbabwe, there's been a look and see approach for many, many years. But during these last 5-6 years, we've become more gradually encouraged by what we're seeing in the environment. And our optimism, our level of confidence has grown. So I would say we've gone from being positively cautious to now being positively optimistic. And I think if you look at the amount of construction going on, you can see outside here this building going up. We're on the final level of Millennium Heights, Block 3. And if we look at this whole area of Borodale, Pomona, there's a lot of construction going on. We've identified at least 20 of our competitors just within 1 kilometer of this building going up. We've identified about 360 new units of clusters of townhouses at a value of $100 million US. So $100 million US in Zimbabwe is a lot of money. $100 million US in America is a lot of money. And to think there's 20 developments going up or that have been built in the last 2-3 years already, it's quite encouraging.
All right, so looking in terms of growth, we can safely say that there is growth in this particular industry.
Absolutely.
And what is anchoring this growth?
You know, that's the paradox in Zimbabwe. Most people think Zimbabwe is in economic decline, Zimbabwe has economic challenges. I think there are issues in Zimbabwe, but when you look at the success stories, let's start with the GDP growth in Zimbabwe. If we go back to when our economy dollarized for the first time in 2009, we could safely say that the economy then was about $12 billion US. Today it's conservatively estimated to be between 36 and 55 billion US dollars, which means this economy has grown at least 300% in the last 15 years. That means double-digit growth every year. But when you look at IMF reports, World Bank reports, even our own internal reports, they're talking of 5-6% growth. I think it's more than double that.
All right.
So that underpinning of the economy growing creates more money in the market, it creates more confidence in the economy. And if we look at how the market has shifted from being a formal economy to an informal economy, there's a lot of cash in this economy. 90% of the business being done at the moment is in US dollars. And this is what's really driven the country to grow and given confidence to the real estate sector.
All right, Ken, so help me understand in terms of